Today, going to look at some different ways to nourish our nervous system. So if you don't know that much about this inner wiring that you have, it is well worth getting some literacy around it, because I think it's the closest thing to a superpower that we have in order to support our being human in the world. So a quick nutshell is that we have this system that is wired for many different things, but two that I'll highlight is that it's wired to connect. We need to connect with other nervous systems. We need to connect with other humans, but it's also wired to protect us. So often we vacillate between these two things of the desire to connect, but the requirement that we stay safe. And through our lives, many things happen in our lives that have not been safe. So sometimes that protective coding that we get, that we naturally protect ourselves, all of our mechanisms and defenses are so good and they've helped us survive. And I have, and you have likely formed many ways, many clever ways to help you survive in a world that is inherently painful, that have ways that you've tried to support yourself against more trauma, more pain, and that's all good. But sometimes we can get stuck with like the brake on, stuck in this attempt to keep ourselves safe, and then we lose the ability to get the other thing that we need, which is connection. And our nervous system has many different states. So we're meant to flexibly move between them. We have this state, which just for ease, I'll call the green state. How about that? The green state, it is our ventral state. And the green state is when life is cool, calm, and collected. It feels open, full of possibilities, open for creativity, to chat, to take a trip, to get curious. All of these things can happen in green. It's like you're open to the world. And so imagining this traffic light system, yellow is like, should I go? Should I not go? I'm not sure like what I should do. This is when we're feeling unsafe. And this could be psychological safety. It can be physical safety or unsafety. And this is like, we're not sure what to do, but we have this energy about us, this mobilization energy, that we either want to move forward, or we want to retreat, or we want to run, or we want to do something. But we have this energy of doing something, but we're not quite sure. For me, it's kind of like this frenetic energy, this frantic energy. And I'm really vigilant. I'm kind of watching like, is there someone coming? Did I hear something? It's a questionable energy as well. It's like you're watching out for. This is the sympathetic state. And this is where we can really get stuck. And the nervous system can get stuck here. And then we are looking at the whole world, and our whole life is being looked at through this lens of stress. And this is what we'll be working with, trying to shake up. And then we have another system, which is our dorsal system. And you can think of this as like the red light. And this is when unconsciously the body has decided that like running or fighting or fleeing, that none of that's going to help. So that the best mechanism to protect ourselves, because again, our body's always just trying to protect us, is that we shut down, that we freeze, that we play dead. This looks like disassociation. It looks like numbing. There's a collapse. This is a collapsed state. So this can also get, we can get frozen here as well. And we need to get back some of this mobilization energy. So without going into that too much more, because I can really go off into this, and maybe I will in another class. It's the PolyVagal Theory. So look that up if you're interested. But really all you need to know is that we have these three different states, and they're all there to support us, either to support our connection or to support our protection. And we're meant to flexibly move between them, because sometimes we want to connect and sometimes we want to protect, but we get stuck in some of these. So the tools that I'll share with you today is to get unstuck, It's to move the energy around so that the nervous system is free to be fluid. And that is what we're after. So just for a moment, having a reflection about your own nervous system and befriending your nervous system means that you have to create a relationship with it. You have to kind of get to know it. So what came up for you? Just a reflection of what came up to you when I was speaking about this. What was the most familiar? When I do this in groups and in teacher trainings and stuff, and in my Emerge program, we talk a lot about the nervous system, is that some states people are like, huh? Like, I didn't even know that that was an option to be like that. And then some people are very familiar with that state. It's like, oh yeah, I absolutely live there. But you actually have all of them, and we want to employ all of them. They work together. So have some reflection around that. And another reflection is to think about these nervous system states as their lenses. They're the lenses with which we see the world. So the state of our body, the state of our nervous system that we're in, is also the lens which with we see the world. So if I'm in green, if I'm in the nervous system state where I'm feeling connected, then I see the world as an inviting place. If I am looking at the world through my stress lens, then I see the world as a dangerous place. And then same with the red lens. It's inhospitable. It's not worth engaging in. So you have to think that our perspective of the world is not true. It's based on the lens that we're wearing. So it's very subjective. And this is why it's a wildly supportive tool for any human. And especially for those of us that are recovering from trauma, recovering from substance disorder, really for everyone. I would just shout nervous system regulation from the rooftops, but let's just get into some of the techniques, and you'll feel the shift in your own body. And maybe you won't, maybe you will, but it's experiential. So let's begin here. So one thing, I'm going to show you 7 different techniques. There's a lot of them, but I'll show you 7 that I like to use. And the first one is just going to be orienting. And often we're not really in our bodies. We're in our heads, we're stressed, we're in the future, we're in the past, we're disassociated, lots of different things. So one thing is you want to come into the present moment, and we want to come into the present moment, not with vigilance, not with like that's very present, is also this like presence and safety presence of where you're like freaking out and looking a sense of like paranoia about the world, because that's how it helps you stay safe. But just a presence of being in the body and attempting to be safe in the body. So if you notice that you're off in fantasy a lot, this can really help. Or if you're disassociated, this can help. Orienting. And it's finding where you are in space. So we can start with the room around us. And I'm in a gorgeous room in Bali, gorgeous shala here in Bali. So looking around whatever room that you're in and getting really detailed and nuanced, which means that you're getting really detailed about what's around you. So I'm noticing like the cracks in the floorboard here. And there's a little bit of paint splatter. And I'm looking at the edges of where the roof is meeting the walls, or well, not a lot of walls in Bali. I'm noticing the ornate carvings. So just look around your room and notice the little things. So the more subtle it can be, the better. And then orienting yourself with sounds as well. And then let's reel it into the body. So we're coming in from the outside space and bringing it into the body. So now you can have eyes closed or eyes open. What's it like to be your big toe? Maybe you look at your big toe. What's it like to be your big toe? Any sensation there? So moving the awareness around, orienting into your body in this moment. And what about your left knee? Any sensation there? And you can look. So it's like a little bit of a guided of a body scan, just shifting the awareness around. What about your left palm? Maybe there's some more sensation there. Maybe you can touch it. We're getting into the space that we're in, and we're getting into the body that we're in. Sternum. Right earlobe. crown of the head. And sit in stillness. Maybe the eyes do turn in. And notice the breath. Orient with the breath. So getting to know it, getting nuanced with the breath. Is it soft, shallow? And see where you can soften. If you can soften the core, your belly. Often if we're in vigilance, if we're in stress, yellow mode, that the belly is constricted, is tightened. See if you can soften the belly, Buddha belly. Beautiful. So this is orienting, and it's quite simple, but it's just getting back into your life, like getting back into the moment, because it's natural that the mind takes us out for many reasons, whether it doesn't feel safe to be there or it's just a pattern that we've created, but to bring it, get back into our body, get back into our lives, and back into the space in which we inhabit, into the present moment. Yeah. So the second one, we're going to do some tapping. We're actually going to do it a little bit different. We're going to take fists. We'll kind of use these like they're little acupressure points. And we're going to tap through the body. So let's bring the soles of the feet maybe in like a wide Baddha Konasana and begin to tap. And again, this is just helping us get into the body. We have all of these acupressure points in meridians, and in yoga they're called nadis. In Thai traditional medicine, it's called sin lines. And essentially there's all these there's all of these energy points throughout the body. So we're just stimulating the energy, the prana, the chi, so that it can move through the body. Because we're wanting things to move, we're wanting to be flexible and not to get stuck. Now move into the thighs and the outsides and the tops of the thighs. We'll get up in a moment. And then down the fronts of the shins. Onto the feet. Feet have lots of little energy points, exit points. Fronts of the shins. And then go down the arms, so maybe one arm at a time. And just imagining that you were like shaking loose stuff, and you really are. But maybe you can bring to mind something that you really are wanting to kind of slough off. Other arm. And these practices can feel really simple, but they pack a punch. No, don't punch yourself. And then onto the sternum, a little bit lighter here. Onto the sternum. Especially here in between the shoulder and the chest. Really nice points right there. Emotional release. And then get all the fingers out. And that always feels really nice on my chest. I like to do this if I'm about to speak up my throat and my chest. If I'm about to speak and I'm a bit nervous, I'm just letting the emotions move through here. And you can do it into the face as well. And then we're going to stand up and do the backs of the legs. So bring the fists back out. Get the backs of the legs. And the booty, that feels good. Hips. And slowly come up, and you can get the kidney area as well. And then bring the hands into loose fists like this, and one loose fist, and the other one is a fist, and you're gonna alternate. So you're gonna hit the hand, switch, fist, open palm, switch, and just go back and forth. And let the arms swing here. So whenever I was in China, there was this guy who was running down, he was like jogging down. I would see him every morning, and he would be kind of fast walking or jogging, and he would be doing this. And he's getting the acupressure points and moving the energy along. I had to ask somebody about, like, what is this guy doing? Feels really nice, and there's a lot of intention in it. And the hands are the point of the exit point for the heart in meridian, in Thai medicine, and the sin line as well. So kind of stimulating that heart point. All right, beautiful. All right, so we're all have this, this tapping, this fist massage in the body. Now we're gonna do some heel drops. And this is something that really quick and easy that you can use. And it just helps to ground into the body. So all you're gonna do is lift the heels up and then drop the heels. And you can feel the reverberation in the body. And why this is helpful is this vibration, this reverb throughout the body, this echo of movement, is it stimulates the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve runs through all of our organs, but all of the states of our nervous system as well. So it kind of like brings it back online and gets everything moving. So just about 15 times. Maybe an exhale out the mouth when you drop. Maybe a flick of the fingers as well. Imagine you could flick something out. 3 more. And come into stillness and notice for a moment. Simplicity. How much power there is in this simplicity. All right, now we're gonna shake. If you notice, a lot of these have vibration, they have movement in them. And shaking is just excellent. I love it. So make the feet a little bit wider, and we're gonna shake different parts of the body and then we'll shake it all together. But let's begin with the legs. So just bending the knees, and you're just getting some shaking in the legs. See if you can isolate it. And then bring it more into the hips. So now maybe there's like a little twerk happening and the thighs are moving and the booty's moving. There's lots of energy that we hold here, that we store here. And then shake that out, feels good. And then see if you can still the bottom part of the body and begin to shake the torso. And then bring the arms in, bend the elbows, shake the hands. And then begin to shake the whole body. Everything at the same time. And then you can get some movement in it as well. So move up and down your mat, move off your mat. No one's making you stay there. And get really big with it. Use your out breath. 30 seconds of this, even just 30 seconds of this will really change the way that you feel. And then make it as small as you can. Like there's just this tiny, tiny, tiny little reverberation, like almost imperceptible. And then find some way to close that and find your way back into stillness. And then slowly finding your way back down to a seat. And this is a very simple and potent humming or an internal om. So you're just gonna inhale and then exhale. You close the mouth and you vibrate. This tickles the vagus nerve, stimulates the vagus nerve as well. Inhale. Move at your own pace here. Keep going. Maybe you take hands to the heart, hand to the belly, and really feel like you can absorb this, like you could sponge up this vibration and let it be big in the body. This is soothing to the system. Let it kind of wrap you in some ease. And when you're you're done, a few moments just to feel the effects. Beautiful. I think it's so interesting that, so when I had the alpacas, which unfortunately we don't anymore, but alpacas hum to each other. The mamas hum to the babies. And then it's kind of how they soothe them. But when you're in like a big bunch of alpacas, they're just like, they're humming at each other and they make the cutest noises. I had one alpaca that hummed all the time. Not all of them do, but one of them, he just hummed all the time. And I just imagined that he was just trying to soothe himself. Sweet. All right, so the last technique is metta, and I'll expand more about metta. I have a few metta classes, but metta has been proven, they've studied how metta can shift the stress levels in our body, and metta means loving kindness. And it doesn't mean that we have to love everything at all. It just means that we are cultivating a sense of kindness towards ourselves and towards other people and the world at large. So it's a slow practice of opening to life as it is, especially when life feels a little bit challenging. If we can just have this sense of kindness, it shifts the sensations in the body. So close your eyes now and let your eyes be heavy. We're just going to tap into this a little bit. So there's many ways that you can practice metta, but I just want to do a little visualization and visualize someone who it is so easy for you to love. So that it's so easy. You love to see them happy. You love to see them succeed. Like you want to be sure that they're safe and like you really have a tender care for this person or this animal. I often think of a pup, Mr. Teddy. So this feeling you have in your body, and it's something that you have the capacity for and the capability of. And the practice is to then move it around a bit, is to see how we can expand at the edges of the metta. So where is it a little bit more challenging? Where can we expand it? So can you bring that same sense towards someone, let's just think about an acquaintance. Someone who you don't really know, but it's a neutral relationship. And you might notice here that it feels a little bit different. And that's fine. You're just wishing this person well, and you wish them happiness, and you hope that they're safe, and you're wishing kindness for this person. And notice the difference. I'm not judging what happens or doesn't happen. You're just practicing. And then bringing this sense towards yourself. Can you visualize having the same sense of kindness towards yourself, of like really, really genuinely wanting yourself to be happy and genuinely wanting yourself to succeed and to have joy for your joy and to let yourself celebrate that? So likely, a lot of us don't come into recovery or sobriety, or regardless of that, a lot of us, it's hard to conjure these feelings for ourselves. It's harder. Not necessarily. I hope you're not there, but likely you may be. This is just a noticing game. And then can you, even if it doesn't feel maybe true to you, can you say to yourself, may I be happy? May I be free? May I be at ease? And may I know joy? Notice how this feels, if it feels inauthentic, if it feels like, I can't. And just notice that. And that's okay. Again, may I be happy? May I be free? May I be at ease. May I know joy. So whatever happened and whatever didn't happen, that's fine. But I want to finish this just tiny little taster of metta with going back to who you began with. Someone who it's really easy to feel this for, and bring that up. And maybe if you're just wanting to shift out of a stressful state, you only stay with this in the beginning. Is that you only stay with this person that it's just easy to feel this kindness for, because that's the cultivation that we're creating, and eventually it ripples out. So again, let yourself feel that, breathe it big into the body and let it expand. Like, yes, like I'm so, gosh, I wish this for you. And often when I'm here, I can't help but smile when I'm in this state of this fluid kindness. You know, we're just reaching down into our capacity to feel it and letting it flood through the body. Metta. Metta. May you be happy. May you be free. May you be at ease, and may you know joy. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, so that is a whole slew of different things that I hope that you find a couple of them beneficial. Take what works and leave the rest, and really just trying to get to know the nervous system, trying to learn and understand ways to navigate and mitigate challenging states, especially when the states feel stuck, so that we can flexibly move through life and move through the world. This is a superpower, and definitely a sobriety superpower. So I hope that you found this helpful. Please let me know what worked and what didn't work, or any questions that you have in the comments. I look forward to reading them.